Welcome to my introductory tutorial on conditional logic using PHP. Now what I've done here is I've created a couple different scripts that I'd like everybody to run. The first one being here. Of course, we've already gone over how to begin and end your code of PHP. We've already covered our variables. As you can see, I have two variables here. Now what conditional logic is it's saying if something is equal to, greater than, less than, whatever, do this. If not, do something else. So what we've done is we've created a basic user login screen without the option of logging in. This is just for time constraints. I want to quickly go over this. So I've created two different variables. The first one being login, and you can see the username here. The second one is I just named it username, and I've changed the text a little, knocked out one of the capitalization R's. So the way we start a conditional logic statement is with the if. We say if, and then of course we use our parentheses, and we say if our username variable is not equal to the exclamation point with the equal sign that directly follows. In PHP programming, that states if it is not equal to. I'm going to go over all these in a second with you, but right now what you want to focus on is you want to say our username is not equal to the login name, and you can see that it's not. There's a difference in the R, and all this is case sensitive, so that capital R is going to throw this whole thing off. So we say for our conditional logic statement, the if statement, I'm sorry, we say if the username is not equal to the login name, we use our bracket to open that up, and we put our code, and we say we want to print this if it's not the same. And you can put whatever you want for all of these. This is just what I'm putting, and I'm gonna briefly go over all this with you. Again, this is just introductory, so we're not going to be using complex code here or anything like that. So basically what we have here is we have the beginning of our conditional statement saying if the username is not equal to the login name, we throw in our bracket. That bracket is just like the semicolon here or the $ here. Just know that it goes hand in hand. Without explanation, it goes hand in hand with the conditional logic of if else or even if. So just remember that. That's very important. So we say if it is not equal to, print this. And the reason I use a print, the reason I call print in here is because that's something we've already gone over before, so you're familiar with it. It's going to be easier on the eyes. So then we end it with the bracket. That ends our if. Our if statement completely is totally done right now. The next thing we want to do, we could end it there if our code called for that, but what we want to do is we want to throw in the else command to give it an option. And we say if else, basically. If not, then we open it up with our bracket, and we give the print command. So basically what we're comparing is this symbol right here, this exclamation point with the equal sign, and that's saying that it's not equal to. And an easier way of showing you guys how to do that is to throw in two equal signs, and that means that they're totally equal, which this sentence right here wouldn't make sense. But what this is saying here with the two equal signs is that they're totally equal. So if the username is completely equal to the login name, then enter this text, which wouldn't make sense. But for this example in general, I'm showing you guys the exclamation point with equal sign, and that means not equal to. So if we ran this code here from the PHP to the PHP section, if we ran all this, the end result would be this, because of the simple fact that we've called the if command and we've compared our two variables, and the thing that we've compared these two variables, username and login, the thing that we've compared it against is the not equal to sign. And remember that we want to use brackets for all this when it comes to conditional logic. So with the else, if and else go hand in hand. It's all conditional logic. So with the else, we did the exact same thing. So we've said if the username is not equal to Ralphie Rocks, then we print out a statement saying please re-enter username or password, which you're going to get the same thing I got. You can change this around to whatever you want, play with it and see how it fits you, and you're going to see a difference in it if you create the same username and password, or I'm sorry, the same login name and same username. Now the second thing we've done is we created a else. So we've gave the script something else to do if those parameters aren't met, or in this case if they are met. And we say in case they do meet up together, what we want to do is we want to welcome with a space, and we pull a full stop with the period, and then we call the login name, we call that variable. That way we can remember who's who and what's what. So I'm sure you've been to a bunch of sites that say welcome to our site so and so, and you're wondering how do they know that. Well, they use a simple script like this, and theirs is probably heavily coded, and we won't get into all that right now. So I'm sure everybody's wondering, well, how does this apply to me? What can I use this for? Well, this is your basic login screen. And again, most programming languages rely heavily on mathematics. So PHP is the same way. So I've created a little mathematics program for you as well. And it's down here. And it says I've created two variables, variable 1 and 2, and I've assigned a value to them as well accordingly. So I call my conditional logic, and I say if number 1 is less than number 2, print congratulations, it's smaller. Else, we're using else if, and we say if else, if, and it's giving us another option, number 1 is greater than number 2, print sorry, number 1 is bigger. Now if you ran your code right now, you would see sorry, number 1 is bigger. Now as far as the else if command is concerned, right here, this part of conditional logic, we're going to be getting into that later. So the main thing to remember from all this is your brackets to open and close the conditional logic code, and your variables that we've gone over before. So I'm going to go ahead and show you some notes here on how to work with all these things. And this is, again, goes back to your grade school math for the most part. And remember this stuff, write it down for now, and keep practicing. The main one to practice with right now is going to be your login one. So go over that one, practice that one a lot, and try to understand conditional logic. The only thing you need to know right now is the if-else statements. Don't worry about the else-if. We'll get into that later when things become more complex. But right now, just play with the greater than, throw in some numbers, play with the greater than, less than, and see what kind of results you come up with. And just pound this into your head because this is very important, and we'll be spending more time on it later. I just wanted to introduce you guys to it.